We are in week 2 of grind towards the Boston Marathon. This is going to be really long, just so you guys know. Like, this isn't going to be some really quick thing that's going to happen. The soonest I'm expecting is like a 2-year goal. So I'm going to be doing lots of different formats of training. Right now, what I'm really just trying to focus on is just establish a really clean diet, because after my marathon, which was May 29th, my diet completely fell off. Marathon was okay. It went good. I want to get about 15 to 20 pounds off. Currently 180 pounds. I'd like to be 155, 160, which for myself is really, really lean, right? That's just the reality of it. My frame, to be fast, I have to be pretty lean. I'm about 6 feet and I'm going to be about 160, 165 at the very most. Every morning, the second I get up at 2:30 a.m., I hop into the yoga mat and I do 20 to 30 minutes of yoga right away. Establish that, and then that takes me into my day where I can do another yoga class potentially later on or get a run in. So this week, today is Monday, July 11th, and the focus this week is going to be get in for sure 4 runs. Still do yoga every single day. This is the 8th day in a row I've done it today, and we're gonna keep that going forward. Start with that morning sweat, fasted, and then from there, again, I can establish whatever else I want to do. I will start showing you what I am consuming for food, because I do find that interesting as well. I do cook pretty plain. Things are pretty easy, pretty plain, but I'll show you regardless. Yeah, let's hop into a run. All right, so 25 minutes in. Heart rate's at 153 right now. Current 9:39 rolling mile. That's gonna slow down real quick right now, because I have noticed that without consistently running. So I ran Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week. Today is Monday. Good runs, but that's not enough. I had 4 days off after that because of my ankle. Had a minorly sprained ankle, so I was letting that heal a bit. I continued to do yoga, but it doesn't get your heart rate up to the 150s and so on. So I've definitely noticed to get my heart rate into that zone 2, which for me is like anywhere in the 145 to 153 range, I believe. I'll put it right over here so you can see what my zone 2 is roughly. Like, those aren't exact numbers, but I am trying to focus heavily right now on a mixture of things. But when I do a zone 2 run, I'm trying to stay in zone 2, and it's hard to even get there for me right now. I'm gonna slow down to almost a 10-minute mile, and my heart rate's still in the 50s, so I just gotta keep up these runs, mix in with some speed work. You gotta keep it up. You have to keep the runs consistent throughout your week. Not even necessarily consistent to zone 2, but just you gotta keep that heart rate up in those running zones so that you can perform in the zone 2 when you want to, because right now I can't even do that. All right, let's keep going. All right, so that wraps up just over a 4-mile run. I'll post my splits here up in the left-hand side of the screen here. Just over 4 miles, about 546 calories burned total. Average heart rate of 149, which is around the place I wanted. It's just the bottom part that if you're looking at there, you can see range 88 to 165. My heart rate should not be anywhere near that 165 range. I do love heart rate specific training for running, so we're gonna be continuing to do this, very specific to zone 2 when I'm focusing on heart rate, and then when I'm going out fast, I'm gonna be focusing much less on heart rate, but you'll see a lot more of these in the future. Me focusing on that zone 2 heart rate, because this is where I do most of my marathon training. I do it in zone 2. The past 2 marathon plans I've done are very focused on zone 2 training. So it's like an 80-20 rule that I kind of follow, and you've probably heard this if you're somewhat into running. If you're new getting into running, 80% effort into zone 2, 20% effort into more speed-based running. So I'm still gonna kind of follow that with probably more of a 60-40 approach. So 60 slow, 40 fast. And the only reason being I'm trying to cut some weight right now, and I'm not in any training program, so I can kind of afford to do that. All right, so I am home now. I have taken a look at my run, and there's one thing about it that I really, really don't like. And I talked a little bit about it on my run. I'll show you just a little bit here. So these are my zones, right? So I have a zone 2 amount. So if you look at that circle, zone 2 is gonna be the majority of my run, which is great. But another large part of my run, 39.8% precisely, and I'll actually put this in the video as well, 55.7% of my run was zone 2. And I love the stats and the data for this. Again, this is not super accurate, but it does help give you a really good guideline. And then zone 3, which is my tempo, 16 minutes spent in tempo, which is really not good. So I'm going to continue to really work on my zone 2 just to get my heart rate into that area, because it was a hot day today, yes, but at the same time, I should still be able to keep my heart rate in that zone. Now today's also an exciting day for me because if there's one thing about being a runner, if you are a runner or you enjoy running, you enjoy fitness, even if it's just fitness, you enjoy shoes. When you get new shoes for fitness or for running, it's exciting. I want to show you the shoes that I have used through the last probably 3 or 4 years of running. When I first started running again, these were the first ones that I used. So these are the Zoom Fly 3s. This is the very first shoe that I used for running once I started getting back into running. Very, very good shoe. The Zoom Fly 4s are out now and they're actually they look like a great shoe, and I believe they're on sale. For a lot of my hard, slow miles, I use the Speed Goats. A very common shoe. These are beat up. I pretty much just wear these just out of the house now, wherever I go, because they're so comfortable still, but they're very, very beat up. Also have a replacement pair, so I run in these now. These are my main kind of like beater, get the miles in type of shoe, Zone 2 shoe. In recent years, I have enjoyed running in Nike still, so I have the Zoom Pegasus 37. I thought it was a good shoe. Breathability, it was kind of a hot shoe, if I had to be honest. For all my winter running, I stick with Hoka's, and I swear by them. These are years old, and I still hammer out winter miles in these. The tread is a little bit worn away, as you can see here in the heel. Completely dominated on that side there. That's just my form of running as well, but still a great shoe, completely Gore-Tex. Very breathable as well, I found. Feet don't get too hot on days where it's not too cold, but just a super good shoe in mid, so it just kind of keeps you safe in there. Icier or snowy trails, it makes it a lot easier. And then in the last 2 years, for both marathons, I have used the Endorphin Pros. So this is the first version of the Endorphin Pros. Very light shoe, very comfortable shoe. These I could probably still run in these, but they have hundreds and hundreds of miles on them. So for the most recent marathon, I got the Endorphin Pro 2s. Super good shoe. Again, I'm just showing you what I'm running in. But the reason why today's exciting, because, hold on, sit tight, I'll be right back. I finally bit the bullet. By bite the bullet, I mean convinced my wife to, these were on sale. So I ended up getting my very first pair of the Nike Zoom X Vaporfly Next% 2s. Gosh, that's a mouthful, eh? So size 11, which is my size. I tried it on an 11.5 not too long ago, so I know for a fact that those are too big, like perfectly too big. So this is the colorway that I went with. These were on sale, but I've never ran in these. Sorry, I should correct myself. I ran in my brother's pair on a treadmill once. They had a lot of miles on them. They were pretty beat up. So I do know how good of a shoe they are. This is exciting for me because this is like, you know, a very top tier shoe. I would say the Endorphin Pro 2s are as well, but it's a very top tier shoe. So my first experience with these, I'm gonna probably use them for only fast miles. I'm really not gonna beat these up at all on days where it's just nice and sunny out. So this is a shoe I've been wanting to get for a very long time. I'm excited to finally put these to work, get some miles in on these shoes, and just see overall how long they last, because I have shoes that have lost hundreds of miles, and I'm believing that these are gonna do the same thing. Anyway, those are the shoes that, as a, you know, pretty avid runner over the last 3 or 4 years, those are the shoes that I've kind of gone through to give you guys an idea of the shoes that I like, the shoes that I swear by. I swear by all those shoes for the most part. I will say I have not been this excited for a shoe in a long time, so I'm looking forward to this.